Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Dino Valley. This is your friend Jurassic Gamer. Hope you all are doing okay. In our previous episode, we introduced our final dinosaur from the Triassic era and concluded our Triassic era section for Animal Park. In today's episode, we will be building our first paddock for the Jurassic era section. In total, in the Jurassic World Evolution 3, there are 19 species from Jurassic era, including late and early Jurassic era. Let's see how many of them we can accommodate in our park. So let's jump back in and continue building the most realistic zoo-inspired animal park. This is episode 7 of Dino Valley. Let's get started. Okay, so let's start with our first dinosaur for the Jurassic era. Now, to just give you an idea what the paddock is going to look like. So our guests are going to enter into the paddock, and as they enter the paddock, they're going to see that they're entering into a mountain, and it's going to be surrounded by huge rocks on all sides. And as they enter through the opening into the mountain, they're going to see a viewing gallery in front of them. And as they enter into the viewing gallery, it's going to have a straight path, and it's going to be a circular cut on either side. As they enter either path, they're going to see glass pieces on the side, and through the glass pieces they can see the dinosaurs. So that's the overall concept. So in order to get that structure, the viewing gallery, we're going to create a smaller section, and we're just going to use the angular slab to duplicate the pieces to create a circular shape. Now, this structure is inspired from the one you have seen in the Jurassic World Dominion. I'm going to create a similar structure. This is a realistic animal park. We are building viewing galleries and structure which are based on an inspiration, whether it's from movies or whether it's from realistic animal parks or zoo. So what I always like to do whenever I'm creating a structure is I like to duplicate the structure, and I always keep my original structure on the side and I use the duplicate piece. So in case if something goes wrong, I can go back to the original piece, make changes, and then duplicate it. Because the original piece, it's not a group, it's a combination, it's not like a group. So it's easier to make changes to the original structure. And then once you get the desired shape, you can just copy paste and create a on the duplicate one. Now, the idea for the structure is going to be you're going to enter through a door, and then the other end of the structure is going to be an open roof balcony. So our guests can come here and get a balcony view of the paddock. So for that, I'm just adjusted the shape of the structure. Okay, so just gonna touch up the ends. Now, the most important part in this build was getting that path inside the building. I had not expected it to be so difficult, but that was really difficult. If you have seen the live video when I was doing it live on YouTube and Twitch, that took a lot of retakes for me to get that shape right. Now, to the center of that of the structure, I'm gonna decorate it with planters, trees, and rocks. I'm gonna create the planter section just by the edge of the path, and then for the remaining part, I'm just gonna use the terrain tool to get some trees in it. I'm gonna go with a combination of green trees and cherry blossom trees, and then just use some flowers and rocks and fill that in the planters to decorate. Now, to talk a little bit more about our dinosaur that we are going to use in this episode. So the star of today's episode is Dinosaurus. This is a genus of ornithopod dinosaur that lived around late Jurassic period, weighing about 80 to 90 kilos and reaching up to 5 meters in length. This dinosaur lived around 140 to 155 million years ago. So a lot of dinosaurs in the Jurassic era are gonna be familiar ones. If you have seen the documentary by Planet Dinosaur on, sorry, if you have seen the documentary of Planet Dinosaur on Discovery, they have shown this dinosaur, Dinosaurus, in an episode where they were showing Pyroraptor. So, if you have seen that episode, you are gonna be familiar with this dinosaur. And a lot of dinosaurs that we're going to see in the Jurassic era are familiar, like the famous Brachiosaurus from the Jurassic Part 1. We have Stegosaurus from the Jurassic Part 2. You have also heard about Allosaurus if you have seen the Jurassic World cartoon series on Netflix. So a lot of them are going to be familiar. Um, However, we still have to wait for the main ones like the T-Rex, my favorite Spinosaurus. They're gonna come in Cretaceous, so that's gonna be the next era after this. Now, coming back to our episode, so like I said, I wanted to you make create like a balcony view from the front side. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use the same like I said, I've already duplicated the main original piece. So I just use a section of that to create the railing or the fencing for the balcony. So just gonna complete that piece and connect it to the main building, and make sure whenever you are building these structures, we need to have collision on so that the dinosaurs don't go through. Now, because this is going to be a mountain and the guests are going to be entering the mountain, we have to surround it with rocks to give that illusion that it's a mountain. And then I've already created the ramp to walk into the mountain earlier in the episode. So next part is just to do the terrain work and complete the rock surrounding for the mountain. Randomly, just gonna use different rocks to create like a piece, and then just gonna use that piece in different sizes and rotation to cover up the edges of the mountain. And I'm just gonna place these using the resizing tool. I'm just gonna complete our mountain view here. So once our plaza is completed, just gonna add some shrubs to it so that it gets blended in with the paddock. So I'm just gonna add the shrubs on top. Just gonna cover the whole plaza with that, so it looks like it's part of the paddock. And then just gonna add the fences. We don't want our dinosaurs to escape the paddock, so just gonna add the fences. Just the entrance, and then just gonna copy paste on this side. Now we want to make sure that to give the illusion that it's a electrified fence, I'm just gonna add that warning sign on each of these fences, and just gonna level the terrain. Looks good. Okay, let's add the warning sign. Perfect. And then we need to now do the terrain for the paddock. um just gonna play around with the terrain. Just gonna use rocks, decorated, and yeah, this is the fun part of building a paddock, playing with the rocks, the terrain, using the terrain tool to create the forest, the jungle from the Jurassic time. So it's pretty fun to do all of that, especially the rock part. And while creating the terrain for the paddock, one key thing to do is to create different level. Not to like, I don't like to keep it like a flat paddock with no mountains or no ditches. So yeah, I always like to keep multi-layer paddock. So you have different level. One is a mountain, you have a ground field, and then you have a ditch. So different levels give that paddock a really good look. So I was just gonna go for that here. So I've created the mountain and ground floor, and then just gonna decorate the entrance with some planters. Um, and then just gonna add some flowers and small trees. and then just gonna make sure copy it on the other side as well. So you're gonna use these white flowers for the decoration. I love these ones. I think so. These ones are lily. I'm not sure which are these, but the white flowers. If you have seen my previous episodes, I like using these ones a lot. Looks really good. Now, originally the plan was to for the first dinosaur was to start with a species from early Jurassic. I was gonna go with one of the Golong, I guess it was. I was gonna go with Golong, one of the early Jurassic dinosaur, but I thought it's better to start with a smaller one and then go up the size. Because really, if you have seen any of the Jurassic Park movies, that's the whole concept. You start with the vegetarian smaller dinosaurs, and then you go up the ladder of size, and then you go to the carnivores after that. So I'm just gonna follow that same pattern here. Now this was actually the most fun part, decorating the terrain. I had so many reattempts I did for getting this look for the terrain. But yeah, it's really fun playing with the terrain tool, creating different forests, vegetation. I had to I had this tab open for Dinosaurus, like what the vegetation during that time looked like, and I just tried to copy it here. Tried to keep the same pattern, rocks, vegetation, red soil. So yeah, and also had that one white. I'm not sure what was it, but in one of the pictures on Google, it showed that there was some kind of white soil. I first thought maybe it's an error, but yeah. So that's why I used the bleach tool to create that white soil color. Not sure exactly why there was sand in that time, but yeah. So the closest I could get was using the sand soil tool to get that pattern. So now we need to add the nest for our juveniles. Place it at the corner. So place it in such a way that from the balcony we can view it. So, and then like we have already created this plaza, just gonna put the bushes around the plaza so that when the guests are seeing through the viewing gallery, or not plaza, viewing gallery, so the guests are seeing through that viewing gallery, they can see some leaves coming out in the picture as well. So gives it a vibe, a forest vibe, or habitat vibe. So, and like I said, the main key here is to make sure that the collision is on for all the pieces so that the dinosaurs don't walk through it. So I've made sure the collision is on several times actually. And then just gonna add these bushes because these are the bushes that the Dirosaurus eat. So some of the dinosaurs would come near the plaza to eat these bushes, and so they're easily viewable from the viewing gallery. So it's always good to make your habitat in such a way that the dinosaurs are always close to the viewing gallery, so that you have maximum visibility of the dinosaur. Now these dark green bushes, I've just added them for getting a good color shade. Um, they're not, they have no use in the habitat otherwise, just for good viewing. It creates a good contrast. So that's it for today's episode. Thank you so much for watching. Next week, we are going to introduce our first carnivore dinosaur for the Jurassic era. And then we also have tons of dinosaurs and marine reptiles to see. So if you like this episode, do like and subscribe to Jurassic Gamer. Consider sharing it with someone who might enjoy it too. And don't forget to leave your feedback in the comment box. I'll be back with another episode next Monday. Until then, stay wild, stay extinct.